how do you take someone seriously when they wake you up and they're like, hey, babe, I'll eat your pussy from the back?
I'm a conservative. My conservative friends think I'm a pussy. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know if you were looking for tags for that girl without a clit thing, but I thought it was silly. Like you're just trying. You're a clown. You're trying to make light of it. I was like, oh shit, here it is. it was behind your ear the whole goddamn time.
That's good.
What?
Comedian
Writing
jokes with Josh.
Zach are crazy.
I'm my special guest here today.
Podcast every week.
This is gonna be fun.
What do you have, a couple of comedians?
People love comedians.
Welcome to Comedians Writing Stand-Up Comedy Jokes. We'll write a better name for that one day, but for right now, it SEOs. Oh my God, we're joined by two amazing guests, and not only are they individually beautiful and funny, but they're also fucking. What's up? It's Jaime Lee Simmons. And it's Brent Reed.
Hello.
Hello. We are having sex.
It's gross. I scream a lot. It's loud.
Brent's the screamer.
I'm the screamer.
I put my hand over his mouth.
We're also joined by trusty co-host Zack Marchand. Zach, love
How's
to have
it
you
going?
on. This is a pretty easy show.
I'm just a moaner. I just want to throw that out there since we're just throwing stuff out. I'm just like a low moaner.
All right, so the show runs on a basic principle, which is we believe 1,000 monkeys could eventually write the works of Shakespeare, and you listening at home, you're one of those fucking monkeys. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some rough jokes, talk about comedy, talk about getting funnier, and we want to see you in the comments section. If you come up with a tag or an idea that's brilliant, if you think you can be funnier than me, get in the comment section and prove it. Prove it.
Bitch.
Bitch? Yeah, I love that. I love that. We have a culture of violence here at the Comedians Writing Stand-Up Comedy Podcast. All right. With that being said, each of us is going to bring up a rough joke. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about our comedy writing process. And we're going to get the show started with the one, the only, Zack Marchand coming to the stage with a brand new joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been married 12 years with a 13-year-old. Don't do the math. She doesn't. But it's hard raising a parent nowadays, raising a child nowadays, because kids just want to do the exact opposite of what you tell them to do, no matter what. All the way to the teen years, what a parent says, kid wants to do the opposite. I did it. I tried this the other day. I was like, you don't have to eat any of your vegetables. And she was bewildered. She's like, she ate all of them. So I'm just wondering, where does the line stop? Do I tell her to get pregnant? Do I buy the drugs for her? This is a fine line to ride as a parent. Do I show up to the frat parties do I hold her legs at the kickstand, hoping she makes the right decision right before she slurps, a giant frothy beer? I just don't know. I don't know how this works. But one of these days I'll figure it out. Hopefully it's before I go to the abortion clinic.
All right. Thoughts from the crew on Zach's parenting style.
I definitely like the whole premise of it, of the fucked up things that you could do to get her to not do them. Definitely buy your kid drugs, that's for sure.
Also, I know it was a Freudian slip, but it would almost be funny to be like, it's hard for him raising a parent or something. You said that on accident, and that made me laugh.
Okay, I like that. Dope.
I like, as always, we can cut probably half the words in the setup and then get into it faster. But it's my daughter is such a rebel. She does the opposite of whatever I say.
And then you're in.
Yeah.
You're in. Yeah. We're, less words. And then also it's I think you should write out a gradient of you're trying to test the waters, right? You're don't do the yard work. I'm gonna do that. She's like, okay. You're like, a woman can't do the yard work. She's like, I can fucking do the yard work. And then you kind of women can't ride lawnmowers. And she's like, I'm gonna ride it. I can ride it. So I think you work your way up, and then you're like, I would love for you to date a black guy, and then you just keep going, right? You keep making it, and then it's honestly, you should vape. It looks cool. And she's like, my dad thinks it looks fucking cool. I don't want to vape. And then maybe you just keep getting edgier with it. I think you write out 20 things, and then you arrange them for how risky that is. And I think that's what you play out over a course of mics and shows until you find your 3 or 4 that you want to use.
3 or 4.
But I think they escalate.
They
all get
escalate,
more-
right. The last one has to be insane.
Yeah.
And you can even do like 2 tame ones, and then the third one is nuts. Or I like the idea of it being like the second one's a little more insane than the first one, and then the last one is like, what the fuck?
The last one's like, I want you to tell your mom I'm cheating.
Yeah.
I want you to. I want to get out of this family. She's like, I'm not going to fucking tell. Like, yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
your.
Your secret's
She
safe
actually
with me.
does Mother's Day for me, like as the opposite of that. She's like, tell your
She
mom
makes it
I'm
the best
cheating.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, no, Dad's the best, dude. So loyal. Like, you got 3 numbers at the PTA meeting. I saw him throw them away. Yeah, the joke came from, it's rough, but the joke came from, my daughter's like getting into different music as she's like 13 years old. And I really just want her to get into emo music so bad. Like, I just want her to get into emo music. And so like, I try to slip it in and she like likes it a little bit. Like, she's just like, okay, like I'll slip in like Hawthorne Heights or like Taking Back Sunday once in a while. And she's just like, yeah. And I was like, but if I say out loud, I'm like, dude, you're emo, dude, or like you're gonna join, like you're gonna be in your emo phase. She rejects it instantly. She won't listen. She's like, no. And so it's
you
just
have to
this
start
whole
being
thing.
like, yeah, the emo scene would reject you, and then she'd be like, what? I want to be accepted, and then she'll
That's-
like fight for the love of her
Shit.
father to be accepted into this community.
Shit, I might need it. I'll hit you up in like a month and take a picture of her with like pink hair. This might work. This is what I want more than anything.
I met this girl with red hair. She looks so emo and trashy. Never do it.
Yeah, never do it. She right now I'm slipping in Sleep Token. I'm not showing her what Sleep Token looks like because she sees them.
Oh, Sleep
She
Token is
knows.
great.
Yeah, she's gonna know it's emo, and so I'm like, I can't show her. She just thinks it's like a fancy death cab for cutie right now. But as soon
Yeah,
as she
so
sees
she
them,
hasn't seen the spooky masks?
Yeah, she hasn't seen what they look like. She just thinks because her album doesn't match what they look like.
No,
So I'm
it is not.
it's just-
It is not.
It's literally a sleeper, pun intended. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad everyone else understood those references.
Sleep Token, great
That's
band.
amazing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any? So we know how you wrote that. We know what inspired it. It's your daughter.
So
What's
rules
your-
of
what's
3.
your-
That's a
Yeah.
big thing I'm taking away.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to see you grow and develop that. All right. Let's bring up our next guest. Who's next, Zach?
Next up, we have coming up is Jaime. Everyone, welcome up to the stage, Jaime Lee.
Fuck, I forget what I was saying now. Okay. I just started dating like a Southern boy for the first time, which is awesome because he's really nice, but it gets interesting when he starts talking dirty in the bedroom. Like, how do you take someone seriously when they wake you up and they're like, hey, babe, I'll eat your pussy from the back? And then that's all I got for it. I wrote this yesterday or 2 days ago.
Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on my face? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We were talking about, I say yes, ma'am, to her all the time. Yeah, yes, ma'am, I sure would like to.
Like you try to get into BDSM and you're saying yes, sir, but he's saying yes, ma'am, and it's like this isn't working. Like,
Yeah, I wanted to like riff on, there was a way where I could be like, I've dated like northern, like just very like, I don't know, aggressive.
Finance
Like-
bros.
What?
It's like a finance bro, like Patagonia finance bro.
No, more
Psycho?
like Boston. I don't know, more like, I don't know, just like really aggressive people, I guess. And yeah, I've never dated a Southern boy, so it's like very different because he's very like sweet and nice, and I'm not used to that. And
But
so I
I'm
want to
still-
like make the comparison of what it's like to date like a Northern guy versus like a Southern guy, where it's like the Northern guy would be like, I'm not gonna eat your fucking pussy, that's gay. And then
Yeah.
he'll be like, hey babe, I'll eat your pussy from the back.
Yeah, run them all first. I don't give a shit.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
He tips his hat every time he comes. Like he wasn't even wearing a hat.
He's
He wasn't
wearing,
even
a hat. He never takes his hat off.
He comes up for eating my pussy with a bib on.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to have to make you clean the sheets. That's rude.
I'll make you squirt and then clean the sheets after.
Don't worry, baby girl. I'll lay in the wet spot.
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Or like it's I don't yeah, it's just like this home style cooking Southern hospitality, like and that's the thing. I think the thing you map out is like you map out like the dirty, disgusting things that these northern men would do that are like these very stereotypical things that men don't want to admit, right? Like they think eating pussy's gross is a great one. They think that foreplay maybe is bad, like foreplay's boring. Most men only have a 2-minute timer, so foreplay is just a nice southern courtesy that they do.
He's all about that.
It's almost too much foreplay. Like
He doesn't.
I'm like, you can stop. Take a breather.
He doesn't. There's these little things like he doesn't call it eating my pussy. He calls it supper time.
Supper time is so good. You ready for supper?
He eats it like a nana pudding. Just
I said banana pudding pussy.
Yeah, he goes, you got that banana pudding pussy.
Oh my gosh.
I think that alliteration is funny. It's like I must have that. I'm attracting these southern boys now. I must have banana pudding pussy.
There's negatives. There's negatives too though, because like when we role play, I'll be like, "Hey, you forgot to say step."
Oh, brother, sister, yeah, you left out.
It's step. It's step.
Sometimes he
sister.
says too many words. Sometimes he leaves out words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you forgot to say step. It's step sister.
That's very.
There's more.
Funny.
There's more to that, there, buddy.
Yeah, stuck in the dryer, and he helps me out of it.
Yeah, he's just like, oh shit, you got stuck.
Like he keeps wanting to role play like I'm his cousin.
Yeah, I told him I was stuck in the dryer. He just helped me get out. It's hilarious.
He's like, I'm stuck in the jar. It's like, that's why I hand wash everything.
Yeah, let me go get the WD-40. We'll get you out of there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We'll butter you up. We'll get you out of there in a second.
I like how your joke. Go ahead.
My sister got her arm stuck in the cup holder of a movie theater one time, and they had to bring butter out to get her out of there.
That's so Alabama.
That's insane.
So this is something that won't apply to most comedians because they're virgins, but it is true. If you're doing a joke about someone, you don't want them to be in the room, like as a stand-up comedian. Like the crowd will feel weird if they realize the subject of the joke is in the room. So like if you're doing a joke about Will Smith, really easy for that to be funny. But if you're hosting like the Academy Awards in the past when Will Smith would get invited to that shit, then like it would be awkward if you did the joke and Will was sitting right there, right? So I think there's an interesting thing here because you're creating this fictional character that is, or not your fictional, but there's a fictional version of your boyfriend that you're doing the joke about. But he's also sitting right next to you. He's like, no, I'd say exactly like this. It's like, well, we have the source.
Well, I did the joke because we're like, we haven't been like telling everyone we're dating right away, and so like I did the joke the other day, and all the comics were like, they like looked at me, and I'm like, they know this is about Brent.
Yeah.
So I felt weird doing it, but you know.
But so the character should exist. Like you don't want to write the joke at like an open mic level where like everyone's laughing because they know who that person is. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You need to create the character of this person you're dating early in the joke so that we can see the baseball cap. We can see, the skinny. We can see the good old boy Southern. We have to know this character, or he at least needs to feel familiar early in the joke. And we want to write the joke for the audience that don't know him. So like if you're watching at home, like maybe you want to do a joke at work about the boss, right? Harder difficulty to get away with the joke when the boss is in the room. Way easier degree of difficulty when the person's not in the room. So just know that the degree of difficulty goes up when the person's in the room. You did a great job with that, Jamie. I just wanted to reference that since we're talking about comedy writing.
Too bad he doesn't have a mullet, so you could like have something to grab on.
It's kind of like a longer mullet. It's like
see,
it's short on the sides.
That's Southern gentleman, dude. Some girl needs something to grab onto once in a while.
And not grab on.
You've done a lot. Yeah, and this is funny. You've done a lot of sex stuff with this, right? Like you've immediately taken it to sex, and I think that there's other angles you could go down.
Yeah, you could have a clean version of the same joke.
Yeah, I agree. I actually, all the stuff I'm trying to write is not like sexual, but what sparked the joke was him literally being like, "I'll eat your pussy from the back."
Josh,
and I was like, "That's so funny."
Do you ever write like the same joke two ways? Like have a clean version of it that maybe you don't have as much fun telling, but you have a clean version of that joke just in case?
I will write a joke sometimes 3 or 4 different ways. Yeah. Especially because I try to be non-political. So like I try to write a joke and I'm like, okay, if the crowd was like crazy left-leaning, how could I set this up to hide what I'm doing later in their preconceptions, right? On the clean versus dirty, I started off and I wasn't trying to do anything from a clean or dirty perspective. I was just writing jokes, but then I really realized I'm never going to get booked, especially as an opener, if I can't go clean. And then I really obsessed about that. And then now I just write. I've got enough work now that I just write the joke how I want, and then later I'll clean it up. Like for most of them, I can clean it up.
I wish I would have done that. The writing the two ways, because I was just like a new comic coming in, hearing about like, I'm going to all these dirty bar shows all the time, and I'm hearing about the disgusting things comics say. And then I'm watching openers and I'm like, well, I got to write clean. So, and then my wife obviously like wants me to write cleaner and cleaner. And so I wrote almost too clean for a long time, where I'm at a point where I go and like we did Shark Fest this past weekend, which is, there's a lot of dirty comics on there. And I like stood out in a way where it was really different. Oh, actually a better example. I went out to Orlando, and did some stuff with JP out there. And the guy before me, just people wanted to hear dick jokes. And I
sometimes
come out there
they
and
want
I'm like,
that.
I'm a dad. My daughter calls me the F word. Haha. She calls me Fat Lance Bass. And like, they're just like, they're just like, dude, talk about your dick.
Yeah.
So I wish I almost would have, gone from that standpoint. And I like that you pointed that out, is like, write the joke two ways. Like write a dirty version and the clean version.
Yeah.
It's harder to write clean. It is objectively it is very difficult to be clean. But once you force yourself to do it, at least you understand what the beats are. You understand where the limitations are. Like when I started writing clean, I didn't even know what clean meant. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to write clean. Then I'd write the joke. And then someone would be like, what are you doing? That wasn't clean. I'm like, it's clean. It's not sex. It's not this. And they're like, yeah, but like it's, you couldn't say it in the workplace. It's a drug joke or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, that's why. And different clubs have different definitions of clean.
You always have to ask, what the specific limit. My buddy, Dusty Slade put it the best way I've ever heard it. My buddy, Zach Townsend, did his show, and he was like, hey, what are the specific parameters? And Dusty Slade goes, look, I just don't want them learning anything. Don't teach them nothing new. I don't want them leaving with questions. He's like, don't teach them like what ass eating is or polyamory. He's like, I don't want them learning nothing. They're dumb. Let them stay dumb. He didn't say that. He didn't go that far. But
that's what he meant.
That's what he meant. He's like, I just don't want them learning nothing. Don't teach them anything. Just make them laugh. And that's like a really fun way, I think. That's how I think of clean comedy now. It's like, okay, well, I just won't present them with anything that they have to like ask questions about,
And there's tons of clean stuff for that joke too. Like he uses coasters. He does dishes. Like it's subtle things that like us as disgusting men don't normally do, but a Southern guy does. And it could be like similar to how we were writing my joke. It's the third one is eating from the back.
Yeah, like you could do like two tame ones, right?
Another completely different angle, right? Is like we're playing the stereotypes against each other. So we played like how a Southern boy is in bed, and that worked. But it's also like I'm dating him and I'm having some difficulties with it, like because like I'm Jewish, he's Southern, and like he doesn't trust me. Like he's always looking through my phone, but it's not to say if I'm cheating. It's like if I control the weather, and I'm like, I'm telling you, I don't. Like he's like, well, why did it rain and you were on your phone? So
you were crying and it rained. How does that?
Yeah. So you could take multiple interactions. So that's not sexual at all. But it's like, okay, this is like an absurd relational interplay, right? Like, he's Southern, but he's feminist. I guess I don't know if he's a feminist or not, but like take another trait from him that doesn't fit Southern, and then play it in like that, right? Like you're like, look, here's the thing. He's actually really liberal for a Southern guy, and I'm super conservative for a girl with an OnlyFans, and we just constantly.
I like that too. That's great.
Yeah.
Like I only take my top off.
He's so Southern. Like, here's all these amazing things about him, but I don't know yet, but I think he might be into race play. I don't know. Just there's signs of it.
Okay, well, but Zach made it sexual again.
I know,
right? So, and that's easy to do. That's always going to be there. That's always going to be there. So the question is, okay, you have that. I'm not saying don't do it, but that's your fastball. So it's like, what can we add in here? And then also save the sex stuff because it works. do the other two comparisons first. Okay, we're going to do the racial stereotype comparison first. Maybe something about economics, right? Like
He duct tapes
the
everything.
woman is the woman never pays. Like he doesn't want to let me pay for anything, but he doesn't have a job. So it's like really,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not gonna let my woman pay. We are running.
And I know you're Jewish and you can pay for it, but
we gotta get the fuck.
We gotta get the fuck out of this Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we have so there's two there. Yeah, cool, awesome, Jamie. Great job. Any other thoughts, guys? Zach or person the subject of the joke is that's sitting next?
No, it's just I think it's a solid premise, and I think I've tried to do that more in my writing. It's just like you said, it was a comment that he said, and it's just like you could just laugh about it and move on with the rest of your day. But I've been trying to do better and better of like if something makes me giggle or laugh throughout the week, just write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down
We'll be, like,
legibly with enough context. I've learned that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be like mid combo and make each other laugh, and I'll be like, write that down. Or as he's saying something and riffing, I'm like texting him the lines he's saying because I'm like, this is funny. You need to make this into a joke, and it's cool to have each other to do that with, you know.
Yeah.
But my whole writing style, I hate it. I hate that this is the only way I come up with jokes is like natural. If I hear it in real life, and I have a thought, and I think the thoughts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you
It's
hate
hard
it?
for me
But
to,
wait,
like,
why do you hate that you're getting jokes from the universe?
I love that I'm getting jokes from the universe, but I hate that I don't have the ability or like a process.
She wants to also be able to just sit down in front of a notepad and write a joke.
Yeah. And if I'll
Talk
be like,
about
oh,
it.
there's nothing that made me laugh, and I can't think of anything funny because I don't feel funny today.
So when you decide, okay, I'm going to sit down and write a joke, tell me what goes through your head. Tell me what we do. What is your writing process when you sit down and try to write a joke?
It never works.
But no, okay.
Like the only time
Show
I can
your
write
work. I want you to show your work.
So-
I want you to visualize, help us see you.
Okay,
doing
so I
it.
actually
Walk through your
don't.
thoughts.
I tried sitting down and writing, and that process does not work for me. So I started like writing premises out like throughout the week of things that I thought were funny, and then I started just like I just bought this thing called the Plod Note, and it's like an AI tool that it's kind of like a voice recorder, but it automatically transcribes everything and timestamps it, which like I don't have to go from voice memos to a transcriber app. It's like all in one straight to my phone, and I can clip myself while I'm on stage. So I just got that, and I'll like walk around with either that or voice memos, and I just start talking. I have to say it out loud, and I start like riffing with myself and talking myself through it, and then I look at the transcription and I try to like cut out what I liked, and then I'll do that again. And that's kind of the only way I can do it. It's really like I write on stage a lot, or like, you know.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna say-
go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, I came from a traditional writing background. So before I got into comedy, I wrote like social media viral ads, like Squatty Potty, stuff like that. So I came from a background of like sitting down traditional writing. And even then you still had a product to like start riffing on writing about. And so we always started with something in the writing room. So there was always something to build off of. When you sit down as a comic and you just see a blank piece of paper in front of you, like that's a non-starter for I think anyone, to be quite honest. Like even from a traditional writing background, that's a non-starter. So to be honest, the writing process, I think it's just getting those original premises, but it's what you do with them after is the actual writing process. I don't know. And if you're a psychopath that can sit down with a blank piece of paper,
I think it's
And-
psychopathic.
yeah, like you have dark thoughts that I guess you just need, you know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Like you have a kill list already in your head, maybe. I don't,
Yeah, that's Josh.
yeah, but like sitting down and looking at a blank piece of paper and just going off that is insane.
Yeah.
So there are, I don't think, and if there's one thing that I think we should want to show with this podcast, it's like there's not one way. Like there's
Right.
not one way to be funny. There's not one way to write a joke. There's not one way to hone in a joke. And I do think though that a lot of comics, and I'm not just singling you out, Jamie, like this has been true for me in the past. This has been true for a lot of people. We have self-limiting beliefs. If you tell yourself, I can't sit down and write, guess what? You're always going to be right 100% of the time. Like you're never going to try it. So I do think that there's a balancing act between learning where you are an A player, learning what your strengths are and how to get in that environment and get in that state, like when I do too much of my day job stuff, I will not be funny all day. So like if I'm too in the zone or if I'm having like a good day at work, that day is gone for comedy. Like it takes so many hours for me to just decompress. Like, cause I I'll deal with people that are like getting evicted and they're really emotional and I'm empathetic and like I'm feeling what they're feeling. And it's like it's hard for me to like, what's so fucking funny about dick jokes when this woman's going to be on the street? So I can't transition. I can't stop working at 5 and writing jokes at 5:30. But I've learned on a Saturday, if I turn my phone off and I go for a long walk, I'll just start to, so like if I sat down with a piece of paper and pen, nothing would come out. Yeah. But if I just go for a long walk, no AirPods, suddenly the idea is, and I can stop walking, write it down. Stop walking, write it down. Now I get home, now I can write them out. And it might even just be as simple as movement. Right now we're talking. I'm ADHD. I'm fiddling with this ball as a way to keep me focused on the conversation. Because I've learned enough that like, hey, you got to have something so you're not looking away from the screen.
Yeah, and I'm like that. I have ADHD too. I actually just somebody just gave me advice, and they were like, right. So I'm actually changing. Like I'm writing jokes, and that you've seen my comedy where it's like more just jokes, but I'm writing. I'm planning an hour, and it's based off one story. And so I sat down the other day, and my friend was like, it takes 30 minutes for your brain to get out of life mode and get into creative mode. So you have to be writing for 30 minutes before your brain is even like starting to think of being funny. Yeah. And I noticed that when I had to write out the story because it's so long and there's so many parts, and I'm like figuring out, it was like years ago in 2020. So I'm like trying to figure out the chronological order. And I spent like 40 fucking plus minutes writing out just line by line the facts. And like I left a space. They were like, leave one space, do a fact, make a joke about it. Like fact, joke. And it's like, that's completely different than what I've been doing or any of my comedy. But I noticed after like the story was done, my brain started being like, oh, I could write this here. And I started writing like little things.
One thing I would highly, just to add on to that, highly recommend when you're doing story writing jokes specifically, I never write them out. What I'll do instead is I'll be like, what are the beats I have to hit? Right. So like I have this story and it's me and my wife and we're in a parking lot. I just know parking lot, like literally like I have to be talking to her in that parking lot because we're about to make a decision. Do we go eat? Do we go to the water park or we do shrooms? And then I say, why not all three? But it doesn't matter how I get into that. I need to show that we're in that parking lot because that parking lot's going to become important later. So in my head, it's just the visual, not even the words. It's just the visual of me and her in the parking lot. And then I can do whatever I want with it. I can say she started the conversation. I can start the conversation. It doesn't matter. The word for word doesn't really matter there. I know we start in a parking lot. We go to the water park. I did too many drugs. So now we need to go to the restaurant. I freak out in the restaurant because I forgot my wallet. That's five points in time, 5 moments that are like linchpins or anchor points to a script. And now when I go do the story, I can see what the people in the crowd are responding to. Maybe they really like the water park. Maybe we need to stay in the water park more. And then I'm too stupid to know all of the things that are funny from this story. But if I go and I just start to tell it, then the crowd's going to be like, oh, we're really enjoying the water park. And I'm like, oh, hey, I didn't think that was important. Let's stay here longer. And then that's where you start to get the lines and the items kind of like from telling the story with people. If you called me sociopathic, sitting down and writing out word for word an hour-long story and knowing what parts are funny, that's where you're like kind of autistic. Like that's like
no, well, so my thing was I've maybe done it 5 times on stage, like whenever I get like a 10-minute set at like a shitty bar room. And I'm just like, I'm going to tell you a story about how I tripped balls with all 3 of my cats. I thought I killed them. And then I like go in the story, and there was times where I was on stage and I was forgetting the story in the order, and I needed to like set it up to talk about this later. And so I was like, let me write it out so I know chronologically. And now I'm like really reminded of all of the facts of the story. So I don't need to I don't have to mention that like at one point my roommate's in AA and that's why I didn't go to the bathroom and I threw up in my room instead. Like, but if some, like maybe they're like you said, like they like let's go into more about your roommate being in AA. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just like did that so I'm not getting confused when I'm talking about on stage. But every time I went on stage, I was writing on stage and I was coming up with like, oh, this part I just wrote a few tags to this part of the story. and then I'll put them all together, but allow myself the
And
chance
lie.
to go in and out.
Allow yourself also give yourself the flexibility to change small things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Change the gender of the waiter if that helps, because it makes the interaction more clear. Right? Change the race of your Uber driver. It doesn't all have to be verbatim of what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I don't know, I don't want to extend too much. We want to jump to the next joke, but I have a story too, actually, that happened in 2020 of my apartment burning down, and then me and people in the apartment complex sneaking back in to get stuff, and Goonies, Stranger Things kind of happen, and it's such a long story, and I've been going and looking back at storytelling comics, and like, for example, when I watch it's different, right? Like when I look at Bert Kreischer, for example, he sounds like he's just telling a story and then like forces a punchline, where he's like, this story's getting too long, and then makes like a dumb observation and then kind of laughs at himself. And I'm like, he's just telling the story and then like forcing taglines in there. And so, and if you do that, he turns like a 5-minute story into a 20-minute joke, because he's constantly inserting punchlines, versus I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to tell what could be a half-hour long story, but I need to fit this into like a 15-minute joke, 10-minute joke. And like I'm going through I loved your pointing out of just like fact joke, and then condensing it, and then possibly just condensing it to the beats that work. My wife yells at me all the time. It was actually, I went to my first open mic planning to tell the story, didn't do it at all, ended up doing just riffing on the host and some of the other comics. But my original plan was to do the story. Now I'm 2 years in and still haven't fucking wrote it.
Well, I've been like wanting to do a story, but I've been like so afraid because it's such a different style of writing.
Stories
so
are
it's
tough.
And then I'm in Austin for the first time, and every time I get on stage is an audition. So it's like, yeah, let me eat shit with with something that comes completely unnatural. It's like I'm an open micer at this point for storytelling. I don't know, but now I'm like, you know what, fuck it. And I wrote it out and we talked about it. And I'm like gonna break it down into like 10, 15-minute increments and get those really strong and be able to get just like the core basics. I could tell that whole story in 15 minutes, and then I'll have like the thing like my roommate being in AA, or all 3 of my cats tripping. Like I could go into like what it's like having a roommate in AA. That could be a 3-5 minute bit. Then I could talk about having like 3 cats and all their different personalities while they're on shrooms. Like there's so many like places I could dig deeper and like develop jokes, and then that will create a full hour. But like definitely, I wrote it out so that I could go like this first, and then I'll just keep building it, I guess.
I love that. That is really good, really creative. It's also it shows like, that's why I say like there's no one way to be funny in comedy, because like there's all these things where they're like, hey, you want to get booked more, you got to do all these things so that you can fit in as an opener. But then like learning how to fit in as an opener, like in a lot of ways for me personally, it stunted me. Like it was still important. I don't think you can skip all those steps, but like it took me so long to get this part down, and I got like this much better. But then it was like, well, let me just be a shitty headliner instead. Like, I'd rather be like, let me be a shitty headliner, which comes with its own problems. But also it's like, you have the time to figure out an hour story like Jamie's trying to do. Like and it's harder to figure out first act, second act, third act. When you got 15 minutes, it's like, it doesn't fit. Like there's no way to tell what the emotional pacing is, because I literally can't do it until I'm doing it. So it is a chicken and egg problem that we all have to go through. So that's great.
Yeah, I'll be working on this for the next 2 years. Hopefully 1 year, but
let's do it. I want to see it. See it.
I'm excited.
A lot of people make fun of shitty specials, and as someone who owns a shitty special, I feel really like I resemble that accusation. But it's like, where's your shitty special? Right. And it's like the act of putting it together will make you a better comedian. Even if you just at the end of it decide to delete it, which I might do one day with my special, you made it. That's your first one. You did all it takes to make it. And when you go do the next one, you'll be that much closer.
You have all of like the lessons and the good and the bad and what's not to do. And
just go be bad. Don't try to be like, try to get better every day, but don't be caught up in having to be great every day, because you'll like.
I struggle with that.
It looks like this. It looks like you're sometimes you have to have multiple bad sets to find the thing that unlocks you. Okay, all right. TED Talk over.
Sorry, my baby girl was asking for some love.
Aww.
This is the cat that I sang to while we were on shrooms, and she loved it.
And now she approaches you whenever you say.
Yeah. We're actually a dog-forward podcast.
Oh, I didn't even...
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry. Yeah. We actually beat the pussy up on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
And that's not a euphemism. Okay. All right, let's bring up our next comic. I'm not just excited because he's a male, but also because he has a cool hat. Make some noise. You've seen him all around. The very funny Brent Reed, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey! All right. So Fox News figured out Superman's an immigrant, and they're pissed. Superman's an immigrant. I know that because the director of the movie came out and he said, Superman, the new movie, is an immigrant story about love and kindness. And there's a lady on Fox News. She's pissed. She's like, oh, Superman's woke now. You can't, we don't go to the movies to have your ideology shoved down our throats. And I'm not political. My liberal friends think I'm a conservative. My conservative friends think I'm a pussy. I'm somewhere in the middle. But what about this disagrees with your ideology? Do with superpowers, spreading love and kindness? You're going to be pissed when I tell you about Jesus. You're going to be upset. Also, immigrant Superman's funny. That makes him sound like he's got underwear on the outside of his cargo shorts. He's like, hola, mi nombre es Superman. That's not what it is. And woke Superman's funny. Like, he's not performing abortions with his laser vision. Let's calm down on woke Superman. But I don't really have an ending for that. That's kind of what I got.
All right. Yeah. Hell yeah. I like it. Topical.
Yeah.
Did y'all see Superman?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I just want to point out that are really similar to that. So actually, I'm a huge comic book fan. I know you guys probably can't see the rest of my setup, but I'm huge nerd. Like I have CGC comics just laid on 3 different walls of my house.
Fucking sick.
So like Jesus Christ was actually Superman was an allegory for Jesus. That's why in the comics, he actually stayed 33 for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, and Zack Snyder knew that when he actually did the positioning of like Christ, Superman. In
Snyder really went into the God thing.
Mm-hmm. So and like that's just smart. That's just an Easter egg for me. It's also I think it's funny you didn't do the obvious because I would have gone like, of course he's an immigrant, he's an alien. Why are you retarded? Like you know what I mean? Like
I
think you have.
I have like said that where I was like, I might have brushed over, but like it's interesting that he said the word immigrant, not alien. That's where I was like, that makes him sound like he's like, hola, mi nombre es Superman. I also was trying to come up with an angle. It's like, was he white before he landed in Kansas, or was he, like when the ship opens, was he white before? Or does he see these white faces and it's like, oh, he's, kind of like how your blood is.
Okay, there's something there. Okay, so like, you almost never hear like someone who is on a visa from like Switzerland being called an immigrant.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't use that word. They definitely are. You wouldn't look at a Canadian and be like this fucking immigrant. It's something about like, look, Fox News, they forgot what's most important. It's not that he's an immigrant, it's that he's white.
Yeah.
like this isn't an immigrant with superpowers. This is a white man who can fly. We have to remember.
Right.
That's
like
very
this
funny.
is like Superman is the most important lesson. It's that white men are better than everyone. And like if Fox News can't remember that, like what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
That's funny.
And a nerdier version of that to double up on Josh. If you watch the movie, his parents did send him there to colonize the planet and have a harem. There's nothing whiter than that.
Yeah,
they did. And then James Gunn confirmed in an interview because everyone was like, left the movie and was like, that had to be fake. It had to be a fake message. Someone had to mess with it. James Gunn said in an interview, he's like, why do people think it's fake? And now people on the internet are losing it. Like, so Superman is a colonizer? It's like, it is. It's an alien race with superior genes. Why wouldn't they? Like, he's not woke. He's just, you know what? He's a sleeper woke. He comes off with kindness. He's just like any other Fox News reporter. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like, he's sleeper woke.
Yeah, sleeper woke is funny.
But yeah, I think the same angle that Josh was going at, you don't have to make it super nerdy as mine, because the issue with mine is you have to see it to know that. The larger beat would be like what Josh pointed out of just him being white. Everyone can understand that. Only weirdos like me that have seen the movie twice in theaters would know that. So
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll be seeing it again. It was amazing. We cried.
we did cry.
You guys are
Multiple
so
times.
heterosexual.
my joke right now is: have you guys ever seen The Marvelous Miss Maisel?
I love it. Yep. I love it.
So I have a picture of Rachel Brosnan's boobs in my phone from the first episode. So every time everyone's like, I loved it. I was like, how'd you like
I'm
Lois?
going to send you my number.
Yeah. I go, hey, you guys want to see Lois without her top on? I just put the screenshot from Marvelous Miss Maisel in group chats. They're like, how'd you do this? Did you use AI? And I'm like, no, I watch
got
shows.
it for free. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Watch Amazon
She's
Prime,
awesome.
dude. Yeah.
What a great movie.
It was a great movie. So good.
Oh yeah, cool.
I like the
that was
joke.
good. That was dope. So what? Brent, do you try to write topical like consistently? Is that...
No, this is like the first topical thing I've written about since like that missile hit that warehouse in Lebanon like years ago. I don't usually write topical. I keep it like pretty like about me and my dad, my family, and you know, like some like observational stuff. I don't do a lot of topical, but I also love superheroes and that I ran across a video on Twitter where it was a lady from Fox News calling Superman like woke and shit. And I was just like, what the fuck are we doing? You know, he's based off of Jesus, like you said. It's like, you know, and that's been like, I feel like that's where my one pop that I get on it right now is like, you're going to be pissed when I tell you about Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And there's something about Jesus not being white and Superman being white or something.
Yeah,
Dude,
Jesus was actually Jesus was actually brown, guys.
Yeah.
Was it your night? I don't know. One of the nights in New Braunfels, I did a religious joke that's not even offensive, and they turned on me.
Was it the Jesus one?
Yeah,
You
that
were
was
talking
our
about-
night.
Yeah. It was. Did Jesus' brother go to heaven? And they were just like upset, and I was like, I've read the Bible cover to cover like 6 times. Like everything I'm saying here is literally in the Bible. They were just like, we hate it. We don't like, and like I was like, has anyone read this? And they're like, no. And like so, like they're just Christians who don't read the Bible and hate other people talking about Christianity. It's like,
Yeah.
You can't question them at all.
Yeah.
Burst their bubble.
No. Yeah, they don't want to even, like, think about it. I was trying to do something a long time ago. I did, like, because everybody in the South is religious, you know? But they don't read the Bible. They're only religious because their parents were. They're people in the South are religious for the same reason that I keep my peanut butter in the refrigerator. It's like, deep down, I know it doesn't make sense, but my parents did it, so... And I don't want to go to hell or whatever.
hell yeah, dude. All right, cool.
Why is
So,
mine?
I would say my only suggestion is record it and post it, even if it's a shitty phone
That's
clip.
what I
with
said. I was
closed
like, you need to
captions.
get this out and like flush it out
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So it's
ride the
burnable
wave.
material. I pray for
That is-
burnable material all the time.
The benefit to writing topical, and I don't do it enough, but I try to do it a little bit. I try to write like 1 or 2 topical jokes a week. The benefit to it is if you find something you like, you can immediately post it and burn it because it won't be good in like 3 or 4 weeks. But also it solves that like white paper problem. Like when you sit down and you're like, okay, I just want to write. I don't have any ideas. But when you're writing topical, it's like every day there's like 50 news stories. And those were at least interesting enough that a team of people that worked for a dying newspaper all got together and they picked like the top 8. And they were like, these will keep us alive for another 6 months. This will help us hit Q3 earnings. And so it's already interesting on some level. So now you just need to go, okay, what are my tools in my toolbox as a comic? How do I pull the funny out of this? But interesting is already there. So it's like, it's a good exercise because then when you come back to your ideas you care about, well, you've been keeping the muscles tight because you've been doing all the topicals. So hell yeah, I love it, Brent.
Thanks,
We
man.
need more.
But
we
also
need
your
more
socials, your socials aren't for you or for other comics. Sorry, socials are for like randos who might come buy a ticket one day, and if they share, oh dude, this funny Superman take, it gets shared amongst 10 guys. 1 or 2 of those guys might come buy a ticket if you swing through the town. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. I didn't post a lot because I'm like afraid of what other comics would think of my clip. And I'm like, it's not for them. Who cares? They're all drunks and drug addicts anyways. Like, why do I post it?
Well, now, you can do a trial reel where it doesn't go to any of your followers. It only goes to strangers.
Yeah.
That's very useful for that.
Dope. We have, I think, one more guest on the podcast. Zach, you want to bring him up?
Yep. Coming to the stage, with his self-loathing comedy special, Doubting Thomas, Joshua Stramiello. Give it up, everybody.
Thank you. Hey, I've been noticing that black guys treat me differently, like based on how many times we played basketball together. Because like if I'm showing up to a gym and I just walk in and I'm the only white guy and I'm like, hey, can I get next? Can I play on the next game? They're like, they're racist to me, like in a corporate way. They're just like, oh, sorry, we already have a full team. It's not really a role for you here. Sorry, you're just not a good culture fit. You're not what we're looking for. It's like, damn, you haven't even let me apply yet. You didn't even interview me. And then like, you know, I play a little bit, so we play a couple games and they're like, oh, wow, you're one of the good ones. I'm like, what'd you say? How'd you say that? Or they call me like a white. Like, hey, pass the ball to the white. And I'm like, what? I'm part Arab. I don't even like it's just, but then the more I play, they get nicer. But even when they're nice, it's kind of racist. Like, I actually can jump pretty high for a white guy, but instead of saying I have ups, they're like, oh, he's uppity.
He's uppity.
He's uppity.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
That's fun.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, that's the whole idea so far. Yeah, there we go.
Maybe like the only thing, like that's the sad part about it, is like the only thing you could aspire to is being like Woody Harrelson, a white man can't jump. Like they just tolerate you. Like that's the highest, and I can't even reach that. Or they say hard. They said white with a hard E.
Yeah.
Hard Y.
What?
He's white.
I also like
Hard
I'm
to
30. That made me think of something. I'm 36 and I've been playing ball for like 20 years, and like all black guys will just call me the same white guy, but it changes over the years.
Yeah.
So like 20 years ago, they're like, oh, look at Larry Bird. Look at Larry Bird over here. Look at this uppity Larry Bird. And then like a couple years went by and they were like, look at Dirk. Look at this slow ass Dirk. Like, look at this slow ass white Dirk.
There's always one honky that they compare you to.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
Yeah, I like how cool black guys make racism and homophobia. They're really good at it. Like, calling you a white is so funny. Yeah.
There's also something like with your name too. Like you have a very white name, and they're like, you know, we're just gonna call you Jamal.
Yeah. I'm trying to fit in with them, and I'm like, yo, I'm one of you guys. My dad went to prison when I was little. I'm also homophobic. Like, how do I have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like you just want to get better at basketball to like just like at first you went just to play a game, but now like you're just determined to like be there. Like that's your aspiration.
Now you just want
like,
the job.
Yeah, you just want the
I
job.
want to play. Yeah.
You want to get out of temp work. You want to get out of temp work. You want a full-time job. I want to be called every Saturday when they play. And I don't like, yeah, sure, I'll refill the water bottles, but at least they don't like spit on me anymore or something like that, right?
Yeah, like I know I'm never going to be in the group chat. Like I know that. Like I don't. Like I'm not. That's not a delusion where I think we're all going to be friends.
There's
like,
two
hello,
separate
fellow.
group chats, one with you and one without.
There's also an age thing here too, because it's not like there's two. Chris Rock's like there's two kinds of black people. The real issue is, and this isn't my phrase, but there's this YN situation, right? Like there's a whole new designation just for young black men, and they're called YN. It's an acronym that I'm not gonna. But they have their own different.
Yeah, Joe. What does it stand for?
YN.
Yeah.
You know.
You know. YN, which stands for. Oh, I'm going to use that. I'm using that.
That's good.
Yeah. I think Jamie beat me to it. Did you beat? Who said it first? I don't know.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie beat me to it by like a half second, but there's a delay. So
Yeah. It's yours. It's yours. You got it.
That's mine. No, but YN, which stands for, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
That is so good.
That's hilarious.
That is really good.
But the older, I have no qualms with guys I'm playing ball with in their 30s and 40s. It's the guys that are in their teens and 20s that really that culture gap is.
They're mean. They're mean.
Very mean. Very mean. This leads into another joke. I'm not trying to do two jokes, but like I have a joke about dating a girl without a clit that I've been working on, and that you would think that that's not related at all. And the transition that I have is like last week a guy was trying to fight me at a basketball game. He was like, yo, like I'm the man. Let's go right now. I'm like, no, you the man. I'm 36. I do not want to fight you. I've dated a girl without a clit. I know I'm not that guy. Like, I know what losing feels like, okay? And then I transitioned into the joke of, like, dating her for 14 months and never making her come. And I'm like, you can't humiliate me
Dated a girl without a
more
clit.
than she did. Yeah.
No, wait, did she actually not have a clit? Or just, like, it didn't work?
This is crazy. I did this last night, and I was like, I dated a girl without a clit. And a guy in the back was like, what? And I was like, okay, see, other people don't know what a clit is. It's not just me. No, but she was, like, born, like, some people are born, like, intersex, where they have, like, a penis and a vagina. And then an even rarer number of people are born with a vagina and no clit. No clit. Doesn't have a clit. The clit didn't develop. So when she met, and now I'm getting into the bit, so I'm just going to do the bit now. It's my podcast. Zach's furiously trying to pay the extra $9.99 for a mute button, which he doesn't have. No, but I met her, I liked her, and we were getting kind of like, I was like 23, 22, and we were like getting ready to be intimate, and she was like, hey, I need you to know I don't have a clit. And I was like, I don't, like, what, is that a problem? I don't know. You sound like you have a dick, you don't have a clit.
You have a hole,
like,
right?
That's
all
yeah,
I
like, do I have something to fuck? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, there's no issue here. She's like, no, but that means I've never come. I've never orgasmed ever in my life. And I'm like, I'm 23, so like, I'm like, oh baby, that's just because you haven't fucked me yet. Like, that was my initial.
Every guy
like,
says.
Yeah, fuck that doctor who said you'll never come. This is a second opinion, and it's my dick. So like, I just went in there like full confidence, and we had sex, and I felt like it was good, and I came, and then I was like, hey, did you come? She's like, no, I don't. That's all right. It's just one try. You'll get it. We'll get it on the next one. And then you know, a couple months later, I fell in love with this girl. I loved her, and she had never come still. And it started, like, I started to go crazy. I was like, I got to make her come once. Like, the ratio here is like, this is privilege. This is imbalanced. Like, how many nuts I've had. You have one. And I started doing crazy shit, like listening, eye contact, foreplay, like whatever. I was like, what do I have to do? And, you know, we got dildos and vibrators involved. None of that pussy shit. None of those battery, like, fucking plug into the wall, okay? Like, stuff that you oil with WD-40 to keep it functional. And, like, we just, like, machinery, okay? And, like, I was like, do we got to go threesome? Let's do threesome. Tried the girl threesome. Didn't work. A couple months later, I was ready to try the guy threesome.
You're like, I'll do anything.
Hey, let's bring black guys into this.
I'll
Like,
let all
what do we
my
have
friends
to
fuck
outsource?
you.
Yeah. What do we have to do? And it was like I was like on a donkey rental website, and I decided, you know, we probably crossed the Rubicon. I think we need to break up. So anyway,
it is soul crushing. I dated a guy and I never came for 8 years. My high school sweetheart. We were gonna get married.
Damn.
And he never had an orgasm, but it wasn't his fault. It was me. I was fucked up in the head, and then I realized how fucked up I was in the head. And once I realized, came instantly. But yeah, he like struggled really hard dating me because he like loved me and wanted to try really hard, and I was like, it's never gonna happen, dude.
So there, you found something psychologically that when you found it and you addressed it, you were able to come.
Yeah.
What was that?
Crazy.
You know, I got over the shame about it, but I was watching the show Billions, and there's a scene, the first scene where the DA, his wife is like putting cigarettes out on him, and then she's on the phone and makes him go into like this sex dungeon, and he's like, she's telling him what to do, and he's on all fours, and he's like jerking off in front of everyone on the floor, and I was like, I gotta go masturbate, and I came instantly, and I cried and felt a lot of shame, and I was like, what's wrong with me? And then I just realized I'm into some kinky shit, and then once I healed my trauma, then I wasn't even into like that stuff as much. But yeah,
okay.
I realized it was psychological for me, and I just like, I needed to shut my brain off and think of really fucked up stuff.
So this guy was fucking you for 8 years, trying everything to make you come, and he could have just put Billions on. He could have just put the show
He
Billions
could have just
on.
punched me in the face and called me a stupid bitch, but he loved me too much, so.
It was in the Netflix queue, and he just like skipped over it. He's like, I don't know about Paul Giamatti or whoever. Who's
Should
in
we
Billions?
watch Marvel again?
It's like, do you want to watch Billions? Like, no, I don't like Paul Giamatti. Let's just go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were looking for tags for that girl without a clit thing, but I thought it was silly. Like you're just trying. You're a clown. You're trying to make light of it. I was like, oh shit, here it is. it was behind your ear the whole goddamn time.
That's good.
What? I love that so much. That's my favorite. Oh my god, yes. I even started using humor. I would go down on her and I'd be like, oh, hey, look, I got your clit. Yes.
Behind the lips the whole time.
Oh my god.
It was here the whole. Sometimes the clit is the friends we make along the way.
That is so good. That is so good. Oh my god, that is so okay. Gold star. If we're just making this up, but that, you know what? You just won 2 free tickets to any Josh Stramiello show.
Thank you so much, Josh.
He's like 2 free tickets. So you don't even get to feature.
You don't get to perform.
No.
Not only that, if you want 2 free tickets, get in the comment section. Whoever writes the best joke, they get 2 free tickets. You still have a 2-item minimum, but 2 free tickets to.
Hell yeah, comedy club, baby.
That's so Brent. I don't want to suck your dick too much because.
Please do. I'll watch.
Yeah, because Jamie's here. What's that OnlyFans handle? We'll throw it in the chat.
The topless comic VIP.
Topless comic. The guys can fuck. She's just like, I have standards. Like I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna be like, poor form, sir. No, Brent. Okay, it is so hard to write a physical tag like that.
Yeah.
That is a different level of comedy. But like as you get better, like one thing that happens, and I tell Caitlin, my wife, this all the time. She gets too caught up in the words of the comedy. I'm trying to get her out of the words. I'm like, get out of the words. You're trying to think of the next word. Don't stop. Think, where are you? Where are you on stage? Where are you in the space? Where are you in the place that you're playing? And you're in this imaginary tree fort, right? Play in the tree fort. So Brent just came in fucking swinging a hammer, and that is brilliant. Brilliant. Would you like to be the – hold on, let me mute Zach. Would you like to be the co-host of this show? I paid the $9.99. I muted Zach. He can't talk right now. He can say whatever he wants.
I would love to. Sorry, Zach. Do I have to
Hell
kill
yeah.
Zach?
It's okay. It happens. It's a survival of the fittest out here, dude. It's fine, dude.
No.
I get it.
I told Zach he gets 30 days of no threats for how good he did on that video editing earlier. And
Oh, that was really good. And that clip of the
Yeah.
Jesus thing was in there too, of you being like, "Yeah, don't mention Jesus. This crowd's."
I mean, Josh thought about me taking it out, and I was like, from an ads perspective, but I was like, dude, I think even if we bleep Jesus, that'd be funny. But I honestly think like some people will think, because the whole premise of Josh's show is like sex, religion, all this stuff's off the table. So I'm like, if some people knew
on the table.
It's on the table. If some people saw
yeah.
like you joking about Jesus, like some people might just show up out of curiosity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because
Also, it's like,
I personally, if I see an ad, like your audience isn't going to be people who like would get offended by you bringing up Jesus. Your audience is people who are like, I like that. And so it's like, for me, the more fucked up a comic is, they're getting like hate in the comments. I'm like, I love this. Do you know what I mean?
We're about to do, and my mom just died recently, which has freed me in a lot of ways, because I literally was like, oh, I don't want to post this because it might kill my mom. And like that was a real thought that I had, but then she can't die twice. So I feel like a burden has been lifted, off of me. And, we're doing this little mini tour. I've got like, I don't know, 15, 16 headlining spots lined up and like booked. And so I would rather run ads that accurately reflect like what my comedy is and what's going to happen. I'd rather have 25 people show up that want to be there and we all fucking play and we have a good time than like 100 people and like I have to pander to them. And not to call out anyone specifically, but fucking Larry the Cable Guy. Like,
Yeah.
I would hate that. Like Larry the Cable Guy is my personal hell. Like he made like 20 million a year. Okay, great. But he made 20 million a year pretending to be someone that he isn't.
Yeah. He's
Dan
Whitney is who he is.
Yeah. No, and you can find videos of him where he just sounds like a regular Midwestern Ohio guy.
Yep.
And then he just one night he was like, let me just pretend that I'm a redneck, and it worked. And so now you're trapped in a glass prison where your fans aren't people that actually live like you. They aren't people that think like you. So now you're faking it for people that you don't want to have a beer with and you don't have a genuine emotional connection with. So it's like, I'd rather be this tiny little guy that barely gets by with a small group of people, but we all fuck with each other. I would rather that than have a theater and I'm Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah,
Like, that
for
is
sure.
my hell.
Same.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, even just to wrap it around it back to what we were talking about before, like the act of like sitting down and writing on a blank piece of paper versus writing and developing things the universe gives you. Like the times that I've sat down and I've like written what I think is structurally a tight, good joke, I tell it, and it's funny technically, but then, you know, because I'm a narcissist, so I run all my jokes through my wife, but then I'm just like complaining about how mac and cheese tastes in the kitchen, and my wife's dying 10 times harder than the joke that I spent an hour sitting down and refining. And the thing that she told me, she's like, but that's you. Like, that's like, I can hear it in your words. That's what you're passionate about. That's something that happened to you. Yes, the joke you told me technically is very funny, but like, you don't give a you don't give a shit about disabled dogs. We don't even own a dog. Like, yes, the thing that you wrote's super funny, but like, it completely unravel. Like, they're just completely two different sides. So for me, as like someone who came from the traditional writing side, you can technically write the funniest joke in the world, but if you can't perform it or have an act out to it, and people don't feel that passion on the other side of it, my experience is like, then it doesn't. Anyone can write a technically really, really good joke, but it doesn't separate you from anyone else. It's not you.
Yeah, I'm like, a lot of my jokes I'm doing now are from when I first started and I took a break of comedy to build up my podcast. And so when I got back into comedy, I was like, well, I'm getting booked for like spots, so I'm going to bring back my old shit and just kind of like get better at writing and make it more me. But now I don't align with any of it, and it like comes off. I can tell like certain times where I feel very inauthentic on stage. And at one point it was me, and it was, you know what I mean? But it's not who I am now. And a lot of the feedback comics have been giving me is like, this joke I can tell is you and you like it. It's one of your newer jokes, and that's why it's doing better than this shit I can tell it's not you anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm working on that.
Yeah, the
What a
audience.
great pod. Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like there's like something to the theory that we're all connected in some way, because the audience can pick up on like inauthenticity, especially black crowds. They can smell it from like a mile away. It's like they can tell you're being inauthentic. So I think as long as you're that, it's your, you know, you're cooking.
I can smell fear.
Yeah.
That is a stereotype. Okay. What an amazing podcast. One more time for our amazing guests, my new favorite couple in the city of Austin.
Thank you for having us. This was so much fun.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Thank
I love
you.
this.
No, thank you.
Tell all your friends. We're always looking to book. We do it on weekends. And in the comments section, remember that you mean nothing to me. We're out.
Writing
Jokes podcast every week. People love comedians. That's all, folks.
See you on the flip side, egghead.